Hello everyone, myself Ajay Kharche, Assistant Professor at Konkan Gyanpith Rahul Dharkar College of Pharmacy and Research Institute Karzat. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all to the second day and the third session of this 1 week faculty development program come student development program, fourth global webinar series COVID-19 titled Global Entrepreneurship Startup Career Opportunities in Pharmacy, which is organized in collaboration with NCP, SPCP, Professional Association, and Indian Pharmaceutical Association. Dear participants, today's webinar highlights on plasma stem cell therapy, a new option of surgery and COVID-19, which is going to be delivered by Dr. Pankaj Kharabe. Dr. Pankaj is a founder and director of Ultracrom Innovatives Private Limited. Dr. Pankaj has completed his B Pharm from Government College of Pharmacy, Amravati, from Amravati University, completed his Master in Research from North Umbria University, Newcastle, UK in 2005 in subject biotechnology and pharmacology and developed several cell lines culture including stem cells as well as work on investigation and morphine tolerance and dependence on immune cell lines. Sir has completed his PhD in 2013 from University of Sunderland, UK in drug discovery and drug development. Sir also work on development of chromatographic methods for identification, purification and characterization of phytoconstituent from plant species which is funded by GlaxoSmithKline Pharma UK. Sir has established Altacrom Innovatives Private Limited for trading research instrument as well as accessories, also testing and training PhD students, MD students as well as MPharm students. Sir is currently working on metabolomics and proteomics studies, new drug discovery and development, method development and validation, phytochemical analysis, in clinical studies, development of regenerative medicines and improvement of stem cell therapy with orthosurgeons and radiologists. Sir is a member of Chromatographic Society UK. Sir is also a member of STARS Therapy. Sir has joined Foundation Campus, Cambridge University, UK, and taught phytochemical analysis. Sir has collaborated with University of Sunderland, UK, to promote Indian students for postgraduate with 10 to 20% scholarship after completing training program under Ultracrom Innovatives Private Limited. So, with this brief introduction of Dr. Pankaj, I would like to request our below principal, Dr. Mohan Kare sir, to share his views. Principal sir, over to you.
Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you, sir.
So, at the outset, I would like to welcome you all delegates. Special welcome to Dr. Pankaj Kharabe. Dr. Pankaj has did his graduation, and after graduation from India, he went abroad and sought his MS and higher education PhDs at UK. And in this process, from a pharmacy graduate, he developed such a skill. He is truly a researcher, scientist, academician, and a surgeon too. Not only surgeon, but he is also a caretaker, a social responsibility, and with social responsibility, he helped diabetic persons, affected persons from neuropathy uh, and different types of disorders of the diabetic secondary disorders, whereby people have to do foot amputation. There is no solution if a diabetic foot disease occurs. But this person gives a simple plasma therapy treatment, and with this concept, which we don't know, he treat the patient, and he has treated the patient. In reality, he is associated with uh, Datta Meghes Institute of Medical Science uh, at Wardha, and really taking care and responsibility of the patient in different uh, talks. Right from this is the fourth webinar series. I am talking on different aspects of entrepreneurship development, opportunities, innovations, product development, and several such aspects. And today in the morning, we had a talk on role of the pharmacist, and we said that we are for the people and we have to be for the people. So this is a person, and I welcome you, Pankaj, for this talk. Actually, today I I had a talk on Indian startup company, but that I will take later because we have many uh, seminars and webinars in the process. So, because your topic is uh, new to us, because of COVID, we could know plasma therapy concept, and this word only we hear that there is something before vaccine, because all are waiting for corona vaccine, and in the entire world plasma therapy is also an alternative that has come up. So with this, I would like to invite Dr. Pankaj Kharabe to elaborate on this concept of plasma therapy, how it can be useful in treatment of various disorders as well as in COVID-19. Dr. Pankaj, you are welcome for this talk.
Dr. Pankaj, please unmute your mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is done. Yeah, it is done. Dr. Pankaj, please proceed.
Okay. Now I'm going to start this webinar, this discussion, the plasma therapy, a new option in surgery as well as the COVID-19. I have used this technique in several other means comorbidities, we can say. In the surgery, actually there are certain injuries which is occurred. Means particularly if there is no any medicines can heal those injuries. First is the bed sore. I mentioned in this one. Second is the gangrene patients. Gangrene patients I have discussed. Means I will discuss later on. These neuropathic pressure ulcers, I will also discuss on that one. Post-surgical wounds. Post-surgical wounds means those wounds or those injuries which is developed after the surgeries. Next is the abdominal pox. Abdominal pox means it is one type of the tuberculosis which is occurred to the abdomen of the most of the females, which is occurred. So type of the these diseases we have cured with our this technique. Another one is the diabetic foot infections, or it is a higher percentage of the peoples or the patients who have this particular these morbidities. This is the diabetic foot infection. Next one is the shock or burn injuries. Means whenever any patients who have any shock, electric shock if they got, or any burn injuries, those patients also we have healed. Next one is the diabetic foot ulcers. It is not necessary that patients have the infections or not, but this is again the part of the diabetic patients who have certain these injuries which is occurred. Next one is the varicose. Varicose are the venous ulcer we called it. It has a different mechanism other than these diabetic foots and all those conditions. And next one is the crush injuries. Crush injuries means which is happened with the accidents, or accidents are just like any injuries which is occurred after the accidents. That's we call it the crush injuries. So all these parts along with many other parts I am going to discuss. This is the part of the surgery. I will discuss on that one, and later on I will discuss on the COVID. Is how this plasma therapy is effective in surgery as well as this COVID. Now, importantly, I want to say that what exactly present in the plasma. Everyone saying that plasma is effective, plasma there's a activeness because it heals the COVID or virus infections. Along with if it is useful in the surgery, then there might be something which is present. It has some importance in that one. So what exactly it is present? It contains the epidermal growth factors. Epidermal growth factor means the epidermal cells which release these particular proteins. That is called as the epidermal growth factors. Next one is the platelets derived growth factors. Most of you know that platelets is the part of the corpuscles which are present in the blood. Now, platelets derived growth factors means those growth factors are those proteins which is developed by the platelets and which is released into the blood, and it particularly concentration which will increase where is the injuries which is occurred. Now next one is the fibroblastic growth factors. These are again the fibroblasts which are important for the proliferation or the development of the new tissues, soft tissues. Means development of the soft tissue, the fibroblastic cellular these tissues are very important. It also develops certain these growth factors. These are the proteins as well. Next one is the insulin-like growth factors. Actually, this particular growth factor was not characterized how it looks like, but it looks similar to the insulin. That's why it mentioned the insulin-like growth factors. And next one is the antibodies. Now, generally, these antibodies which is secreted by the neutrophil, basophils, as well as the mast cells. Actually, why this antibody is secreted? Whenever any antigens or foreign bodies, when it interact with our body, then to defense ourselves, these our blood corpuscles or the cells which are present in our plasma, then they develop certain type of these antibodies to defense from antigens or foreign organisms. Along these growth factors, there are present the platelets. These are the cells. Apart from this, the macrophages, which we call as the WBC. Next one is the neutrophils, basophils, fibroblasts, endothelial cells, and sometimes it is also present the stem cells. Now, in the stem cell, there are the two types of the stem cells. Generally, one is the pluripotent. Pluripotent means which are getting from the infant baby, from the placenta of the infant baby. Actually, to use that particular stem cell from the placenta of the infant baby, which is banned in India, because if we do not have to use those particular stem cells for the healing of the other wounds or other injuries. Only the permitted is the stem cell which is the mesenchymal stem cells. This is the, I mentioned it is the MSC. MSC means mesenchymal stem cells. Okay. Actually, these particular cell lines which is present inside the bone marrow, and in that case we don't have to take that particular stem cells from the bones. If any wound which is occur, then because of that pain, the stem cell will get activated and start the proliferation. Now, how it interact, how it develop, I will mention, I will give the further discussion in depth, is how it get activated and how it proliferated and how it utilized for the recovery of the any wounds. Okay. Now, what are the importances? And previously I mentioned what are the types where we can use. Second, I have mentioned what are the contents of it. And third one is I am going to mention what are the importance of this particular therapy. Now, whenever we discuss about the importance, certain thing is become important when we highlight the drawbacks of other techniques. If we have certain drawbacks of those techniques, it gives the attention to the alternative techniques which can be utilized for the healing of the or to recovery of any injuries. Now, most often we use the antibiotics for any diseases or any injuries to heal that particular infection or any diseases. As well as we use the antimicrobial dressing or the anti-inflammatory drugs. If you see that most of the infections have the pain, and to relieve the pain, we use the anti-inflammatory agents. Okay. Now, what is the role of this antimicrobial dressing? So, it should not give any further infection to that particular wound to protect from further infection. So, we use this antimicrobial dressing. Now, there is no need of the hospitalization or anesthesia. So, in this case, whenever any patients have any injuries, intractable or major injuries, generally the doctor suggest them, उनको बोलते हैं कि आप हॉस्पिटल में स्टे करो. हॉस्पिटल में स्टे करने के बाद हम आपको इसका इलाज करके आपको ठीक कर देंगे. But actually I want to say, in our therapy we don't admit any patients to the hospital. Once after the treatment, that patient can go home, and we call them twice in a week. मीन्स वो पेशेंट हम उस पेशेंट को हम हफ्ते में 2 बार बुलाते हैं. यदि मीन्स इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द इंजुरीज. यदि इंजुरी जब बहुत बड़ी हो तो हम उसको हफ्ते में 2 बार बुलाते हैं. यदि इंजरी थोड़ी कम हो तो हम उसको हफ्ते में एक ही बार बुलाते हैं उस पेशेंट्स को। तो इस कंडीशन में उस पेशेंट को हॉस्पिटल में रहने की जरूरत नहीं है। यदि हॉस्पिटल में रहेंगे तो आपका खर्चा बढ़ेगा, आपका चार्ज लेंगे, पर ऐसा हम उसमें कुछ भी नहीं करते। नो नीड ऑफ क्रिटिकल सर्जरीज और एम्पुटेशंस और डिब्राइडमेंट। Critical surgeries, amputation and debridement, these are the part of the surgeries. Now, in this case, whenever any injuries which is beyond the concept or beyond to treat, then in that case we do the amputation. Amputation means to remove that particular part of that organ, so it will not proliferate further that particular infection or disease to the other part of that one. So in that case, we prefer to do the amputation. Next one is the debridement. What exactly debridement? Debridement is whatever the infected tissues, generally that infected tissues called as the necrotized tissues or dead tissues. That dead tissues we removed, that is called as the debridement. So that dead tissues which not be utilized by the microorganism for its proliferation or the cellular division. If they don't have any of those necrotized tissues, then the microbial proliferation will not happen. So this is again the debridement is the part of that surgery. Now next one is the reconstruction or skin grafting or flap techniques. Actually these are again the type of the surgery. Skin grafting or the flaps is actually what happens whenever any injuries which is occurred. Then what we do, we removed certain healthy part of that, means other part of that tissues. We remove that one and we wrap that particular injuries with that means newly that we have remove that particular part of the skin from that particular patients. अभी स्किन ग्राफ्टिंग में और फ्लैप टेक्निक्स में क्या होता है, अभी मैं हिंदी में बताता कि यदि उसको कुछ वुंड होती है तो उसकी बॉडी में से जो अदर हेल्दी पार्ट्स है उसको हम निकालते हैं, उस स्किन का लेयर, उस लेयर की लेयर निकालने के बाद जो वहां पे उसको जख्म है उसके ऊपर हम उसको सराउंड करते हैं। फिर सराउंड करने के बाद उसको स्टिचलेस लो, उसको हम सूचर देके उसको क्लोज करते हैं। क्लोज करने के बाद वी सजेस्ट टू गिव द एंटीबायोटिक्स, मींस दोज डॉक्टर्स हु आर डूइंग दिस प्रैक्टिसेस तो उसका एंटीबायोटिक्स प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं। तो एंटीबायोटिक्स की वजह से वो हील होती है, ऐसे वो सर्जन बोलते हैं। ओके, बट आई विल गिव सम ऑफ द एविडेंसेस हाउ दिस टेक्निक इज अनसक्सेसफुल और फेल्यूर। ओके, आई विल गिव सम ऑफ द एविडेंसेस. So in this our therapy, we don't recommend this reconstruction or skin grafting or flap techniques. Okay. Now next one is the no need of any adjunctive therapy, just like HBOT means hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Is what exactly this hyperbaric oxygen therapy? In this case, we give the excessive oxygen to that particular infected area, so that those tissues, soft tissues, which can utilize that oxygen for further propagation. But this is the just only the concept. But how it is practically, it is implemented by that particular cell lines, I don't know, because we did not get any significant results of this particular therapies. Now next one is the NPT. It is the negative pressure therapy. This negative pressure therapy, it is just like the vacuum pressure we built in that particular wound. Means if the wound is the closed wound means the wound which is occur inside is that particular body, and even we cannot see that particular injuries. Or if the injury is very complicated or very big, then in that case we go for this negative pressure therapy. Okay, I will discuss in depth with the animation how these both techniques can be failure. Okay, now next one is that it takes 15 days to 7 months, okay, to heal that particular injuries. 15 days, it is quite less as compared to treatment with the antibiotics. Even antibiotics cannot treat this particular, and maximum it mentioned the 7 months. This 7 months maximum depends on the age of the patients, or the patient is the compliance of that particular patients. If we call the patient, यदि हम पेशेंट को बुलाते हैं कि भाई आप हफ्ते में 2 बार आओ, पेशेंट आता ही नहीं, एक महीना पेशेंट आता नहीं, तो actually it is the responsibility of person, patients. Okay, so sometimes it is happen with the negligence behavior of that particular patients. Okay, and this particular duration, it depends on the size of the wound. Size wound की उस कितनी बड़ी wound है and the depth of the wounds. Okay, so depth and size of that wound is उसके ऊपर it depends on the duration of this particular therapy. Okay, so now I mentioned about the significance of this particular therapy. Now I will go to discuss about this PRP, means this is the plasma therapy or platelet-rich plasma therapy in treatment of diabetic foot ulcers. DFU means diabetic foot ulcers. Please consider this one. Next one is the neuropathy. Neuropathy, it is just like the sensation of the pain or no sensation of the pains. Okay, the impairment of the nerve tissue which is occurs. So that's why it creates the neuropathy. And diabetic foot infection. It is the infection. First is the ulcer, development of the injury, and second DFI, it is the infection which is developed at particular area. Now I am going to show some of the animation how it works, means why this DFU neuropathy or DFI which is occur the particular patients. Okay. Now I have mentioned this is the blue color, this this round shape. It just let's we consider this is the nerve cells. These are the other tissues which is the tissues, cartilage or bone tissues. Okay, all these tissues develop our body. Next one, these are the sugar molecules, the black dots which is represent, these are the sugar molecules, and the red dots I have represented or displayed as the microorganisms. Okay, now let's we consider the healthy volunteer or healthy person who don't have any infections, don't have any diabetes, no anything which has happened. So in that case, let me see, it is the nerve cells, this is the endothelial or the soft tissues, and these are the sugar molecules, and these are the infections. Okay, what happened in this case? In this case, if you say that these sugar molecules which is influxes means go inside the cells. Okay, when these cells whenever the sugar molecules which are present inside this interstitial fluids, then that sugar molecules will go inside this particular cells. Either these are the soft muscular, cartilage or bone tissues as well as the nerve cells. Okay, when these sugar molecules will go inside, then these particular cell lines utilize these sugar molecule for the propagation. Means for this particular soft tissue they use for the cellular multiplication or cellular propagation. But in case of the nerve cells, they utilize these particular sugar molecules for the conduction of the nerve impulses, we can see. Okay, nerve transmission can be initiated when the sugar molecules will go inside. Why? Because the sugar molecules provide the develop the energy, and this energy further utilized by these nerve cells for the impulse generations. Okay. Now I mention here, these are the cell lines which is grow after using this utilization of the sugar molecules. Now I will go for that. What exactly happening in the diabetic patients who have these infections as well as this neuropathy? Why exactly it is happening? Okay. Now in this case I mentioned these are the sugar molecules. These are all the interstitial fluid which is surrounded with sugar molecules. For example, let's we consider. Okay. Along with this, there are presence of the micronutrients which also contain the sugar molecules. Okay. Now there are receptors which are present on this particular cell lines, which are highly which are the which acts as a security. Okay. To permit this, to either permit the sugar molecules or not, it is decided by the particular receptors. Okay. Now actually what happened in these diabetic patients, the permeability rate of the sugar molecules which is decreased. Why decreased? Because these receptors are not capable to increase the reuptake of the sugar molecules inside these cell lines. Either this is the nerve cells or the soft tissues or muscular tissues or bone or cartilages. Okay, so what happened? If there is no any reuptake of the sugar molecules, there will be no cellular division will be occur. And if there is no cellular division will occur, there will be no proliferation or the development of new tissues which is occur. And if there is no development of the new tissues which is occur, then the healing of that particular injuries will not occur to that particular patients. So this is the case of the diabetic patients, because the reuptake which will be impaired in that particular patients. Similarly, if this is the nerve cells, If the sugar molecules do not go inside this particular nerve tissue, they will not develop its energy. If it don't develop its energy, it will not conduct the nerve transmission, or the nerve conduction velocity will be decreased. So it is impaired. So that's why it causes the neuropathy, and that's why it causes the this diabetic patient. There are the particular injuries which is not healed rapidly. Okay. So what happened? These single microorganisms which I mentioned here, these microorganisms, whatever the sugar molecules which is present in this one, that sugar molecules they will utilize for their cellular propagation. Okay. Now here you can see that all the sugar molecules after consuming by microorganisms, the single microbes get proliferated. And after proliferation, those microorganisms which increase these populations. Okay, so that's why it develop the infections. So this is the main case of these diabetic patients who would usually develop the infections as well as the neuropathy. So that's why with the diabetic foot ulcer as well as diabetic foot infections along with the neuropathy. So actually it is not necessary that particular patients have the neuropathy or not, but we have seen most often that particular diabetic patients have the neuropathy. Either it is the sensory or the motor, means his sensor nerve will damage, or the motor nerve will damage. Whenever any patients, if his sensor nerves get damaged, then he feel the very high pain, means it is very sensitive to the pain, and it is very irritating to that particular patients. Okay, and if any patients who have the motor nerve get damaged, then that particular patients will not give any sensation to the touch, or means he will not respond to the pain. Okay, his wound become very numb. Okay, painless we can say that particular motor nerve if it is damaged. Okay. So now what are the treatments which are available for that particular diabetic foot patients who have the infections or neuropathy? So what are the treatments generally which are now recommended by the surgeons or any physicians to treat these particular conditions? First is the negative pressure therapy, which I have previously discussed. This is one type of the therapy which is used in the surgery. So what exactly happened in the negative pressure therapy? It creates the vacuum. So because of that vacuum, whatever these microbes which are present, that microbes will be sucked with that particular pump. Okay. So when it sucks the pump, all that microbe will be removed from that particular area. Simultaneously, whatever the content which are present in that interstitial fluid, along with these microbes, it will also come out with this one. But the drawbacks of this, whatever the soft tissues which are present along with these things, which will also come together with that microbes or the micronutrients which are present in that particular interstitial fluid. So if the soft tissues, if it is removed, then that soft tissues will not helpful for the proliferation or the development of the new tissues, which is called as the epithelialization or the recovery of the wounds. Okay. So this is one of the drawbacks or the failure of this negative pressure therapy. Okay. Next, which is attempted, it is the hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Previously I discussed hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It is the excessive oxygen which we are supplying to that particular patients or the injuries, so that all those tissues which are present here, it is the soft tissues as well as the nerve tissues, they will utilize this particular oxygen for the proliferation of the development of the new tissues. But unfortunately, whatever the microbes which are present in this one, these microbes will also utilize this oxygen from this hyperbaric oxygen. So they will also utilize this oxygen for their proliferation. Means if we are concerning or if we are considering these particular cellular developments, but along with this one, we are also developing these microbes. We are giving the chances to the development of these microbes or the cellular infections. Okay. So this is another drawbacks of this particular therapy. And we have seen that hyperbaric oxygen therapy is not that much effective, we have seen. And we have treated some of the patients with this particular therapy and compared with this particular therapy with the PRP or the plasma therapy. And we have seen that there is very few people. Those people, the injury is not that much severe. Only those patients we have seen that it is the healed with particular this hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Okay. And even those patients who do not have the infections. We never tried this particular therapy to those patients who have the infections. Okay, so I don't consider this hyperbaric oxygen therapy is significant or is remarkable in this particular DFU neuropathic or diabetic foot ulcers. Now, next technique I mentioned is the debridement. In the debridement, what we do, we remove the necrotized or dead tissues or infected tissues that from that particular area. Okay. Next one is the anti-diabetic drugs. Anti-diabetic drugs will not will not remove this particular bacteria or infections. It will not decline this particular infections. Diabetic drugs only can enhance the cellular proliferation if we use this one. By increasing the reuptake of the sugar molecules, it can only do that one. But it will not cure these particular infections. Now, next one is the antibiotics. Most often, most of the doctors, they prescribe the antibiotics for these diabetic foot infections. But actually, I want to say, is it effective this particular antibiotics for these particular conditions? I have these questions to all of you. If you see that antibiotics, I can say antibiotics can kill only this particular microbes, but it will not intervene in this particular cellular propagation. Its role is only to inhibit or to kill this particular microbes, but its role is not to increase the proliferation of the cellular development. And that's why this removing or the decreasing the infection is not the solution for this diabetic foot ulcer or diabetic infections. Along with that, recovery of the healing or the healing of that wound is also important. So I think that anti-diabetic drugs is individually or the antibiotics, using this antibiotic is not only sufficient for this healing or the recovery of this particular diabetic patients who have the infections as well as the neuropathy. Okay. Now, so what are the alternative options? If I mention that all those techniques have the failure, then what are the alternative techniques? So it again becomes the very enthusiastic to know that what are the other techniques. So other technique is we have seen it is the plasma therapy. Okay, it is very effective, and why it is effective, I will mention that one. So what exactly happened in the plasma therapy? Previously I mentioned it contained several growth factors or dense granules as well as the antibodies, along with the presence of the cells, cellular corpuscle, just like the macrophages, platelets, fibroblasts, neutrophils, basophils, all the cell lines. Okay. Now, what is the role of these particular cell lines as well as the dense granules? What exactly happen? All those cells what are present, they release the dense granules when it come in that particular area, to that particular injured area. And once it release this dense granule, then what they do, they increase the cellular proliferation of this particular wounds. Okay. Along with that, what they do, these cell lines which are present in the plasma therapy, what are the cells? They consume or they eat that particular microbes by the phagocytosis process. If you learn, I think that you learn this particular word, phagocytosis, endocytosis, exocytosis. Okay, what exactly phagocytosis it do? Whatever the antigens or foreign bodies, if it goes inside, it consumes that one. Okay, so that is the role of the content which are present in the plasma. So ultimately, it decreases the microbial populations which are present in that particular infected area. So it is the significance. So that's why we don't recommend antibiotics. Why? Because whatever the role of the antibiotics to kill that particular microbes, the same thing which is present in that plasma, it also do the same thing. So we are going for the natural killing of that microbes instead of going for any synthetic drugs for the treatment of any infections. Okay. Here I have seen that I mentioned that all this infection which is gone. Okay. Second thing is that anti-diabetic drugs or antibiotics. Okay. In this case, some of these recommended anti-diabetic drugs along with the antibiotics. But what we do along with the plasma therapy, if we go for that anti-diabetic drugs, then what happens? These anti-diabetic drugs increase the influx of these sugar molecules inside these cells. Okay. So what happens when these sugar molecules present in that one, it will be going inside because of taking the anti-diabetic drugs. Okay. It is not necessary to go for the antibiotics, but if the condition is very severe, only in that case we consider these antibiotics. Otherwise, we don't recommend these antibiotics. Around 90% patients we don't go for the antibiotics. Okay, because we are going for the natural healing using this plasma therapy, as well as if it is needed, then the anti-diabetic drugs. The importance of the anti-diabetic drugs along with this plasma therapy is that it increases the reuptake of sugar molecules inside these cells, so that it increase or it further facilitate the cellular developments. If you see, here is the nerve tissues which is developed. Okay, the same one, this is one cells, it is further proliferate to the nerve, 2 nerve cells, it is further proliferate to the 4 nerve cells. Just like this is the multiplication which is occur, and because of that multiplication, the healing of the particular wound which is increased. Okay, so this is the case. This is I mentioned that how it works, this plasma therapy. Okay. Now, if I mention this is the theoretically, but what are the evidences? So I am giving the evidences. Okay, so this is the one of the patients who have this diabetic foot infection. He has the infection and become very severe. Actually, he has taken some of the treatment with the private practitioners, and when it become very big, then he came to us. At that time वो बोल रहा था कि हमारे पास अभी पैसे ही नहीं है, सब पैसे अभी प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिशनर्स ने ले लिए, अब आप उनसे पैसे ले लो. और एक्चुअली जब पेशेंट्स कोई भी अभी हॉस्पिटल में आता है, जब पूरा सीवियर होके बाद वो पेशेंट वहां पे आता है, जब पूरा उसका पैसा पूरा लूट लेते हैं प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिशनर, उसके बाद तो सर जब खाली हो गया तो उसको बोलता है कि इसके भाई आप हॉस्पिटल में जाओ. और एक्चुअली मुझे बताना है कि हॉस्पिटल में जाना बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स को ऐसा लगता है कि हम उसमें थोड़ा उसमें उसका एक स्टेटस कुछ तो कम हुआ ऐसा उसको लगता है. वो सोचता है कि यदि मैं प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिस में जाऊंगा तो मेरा जल्दी ठीक हो जाएगा, और जितना ज्यादा पैसा लेंगे उतना जल्दी ठीक करेगा. एक्चुअली इट इज द मिसकंसेप्ट. सिंगल पर्सन का दिमाग और 10 लोगों का दिमाग वो पूरा उसमें डिफरेंट है. ओके, इट इज द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ माइंड्स and the strength of unity, and whenever the strength of unity is increased, the diagnosis rate become very accurate. Okay, so that's why I preferred, यदि मुझे लगता है कि यदि कुछ ऐसा होता है आपको सिवियर इंजुरीज, इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग टू द प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिशनर्स ऑलवेज प्रीफर टू गो टू द हॉस्पिटल्स, क्योंकि वहां पे 10 लोग साथ में बैठते हैं, साथ में अपना एक डायग्नोसिस आपका एक कॉमन करके अपना एक सुझाव देते हैं पेशेंट्स को कि आपको करना है. और दूसरी बात यह है कि आपके जैसे कम से कम 200-300 पेशेंट उसके पास आते हैं एक दिन में, और प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिशनर के पास एक दिन में कम से कम कितने पेशेंट 50 या 100 पेशेंट आएंगे. सिंगल पर्सन का दिमाग और कंबाइन होके दिमाग उसका कुछ बहुत इट इज द वेरी डिफरेंशिएबल. ओके, सो ऑलवेज प्रीफर टू गो टू द हॉस्पिटल इफ सर्टेन इफ सच इंजुरीज व्हिच इज ऑफर्ड. ओके, ये आपके फायदे के लिए भी है, क्योंकि यदि आप किसी इकोनॉमिकल बैकग्राउंड से है, आपको उतना पैसा नहीं है, तो ऑलवेज गो फॉर दैट हॉस्पिटल्स. ओके, नाउ विद दिस थेरेपी व्हाट वी हैव डन, वी हैव रिकवर्ड दिस पर्टिकुलर एरिया. इफ यू सी, in the beginning it was like that, and after the treatment with the plasma therapy it is like that. We healed around 75% of these wounds. If you see, it is complete closure of that wound and the development of the nerve granulation tissues which is happen on that wound surface. Okay, as well as it's showing some of the reddishness. It is the granulation tissues, the development of the granulation tissues, and granulation tissues further develop the angiogenesis. Angiogenesis means the development of the nerve blood capillaries. Okay, and once it develop the nerve blood capillaries, then it enters the transportation of the other healing components, the particular area. And if you see, that is the complete healing of that particular wound. Okay, after that you will not see any injury which is occurred to that particular patients. Okay, So I will give another example. This is another patient from the Hingoli district, and he was also from the poor background. Then what happened? He gone to the private practitioners. और उस प्राइवेट practitioner ने उसका एक फिंगर काट डाला क्योंकि वो बहुत ही ज्यादा सीवियर हो गया. Actually उस फिंगर काटने की जरूरत भी नहीं थी, but actually the problem is that patient do not have any knowledge where to interact, to whom he has to interact is certain if this thing which is happen. Okay, यदि वो पेशेंट्स हमारे पास पहले आता तो उसका एक फिंगर काटने की जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ती, हम उसको वैसे ही उसका हम हील करके दिया होता. तो एक्चुअली समथिंग इज द प्रॉब्लम विद द अप्रोचमेंट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, and it is something is the problem with we did not also approach to that particular person. Okay, so that's why we have used this particular platform to communicate with those audience who have, if they know certain some of the patients like that. Okay, so it is just like awareness if any injury which is occurred along with these communications. तो उस प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिस ने उसका फिंगर काट दिया, फिर हमारे पास आ गया तो हमने उसका पूरा इंजरी पूरा रिकवर करके दे दिया. इफ यू सी दैट देयर इज द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द न्यू टिश्यूज, इवन यू विल नॉट सी एनी काइंड्स ऑफ इंजरी व्हिच इज ऑकर्ड. सो इट इज द प्लाज्मा थेरेपी, इट इज द वन काइंड ऑफ द रीजेनरेटिव मेडिसिन्स. Means what is the regenerative medicines? Because it regenerated the new tissues which is similar to the previous one. Now this is the neuropathic foot ulcers. Okay, it is not necessary that particular patients have the diabetes or associated with the diabetes or not. Okay, so I have seen some of the patients who do not have the diabetes but still have the neuropathic foot ulcers. Actually, why it is neuropathic foot ulcer which is occur? And it is not necessary that it is occur only the foots. It is any part of that particular area which is occur. So why this neuropathic is occur? If those patients who have any accident in past, then what happen? His nerve tissues or nerve signals get damaged. If the nerve tissues get damaged, then he will not feel any sensation. And if he not feel any sensation in that area, there are chances of growing of the or development of the nail ulcers. So this is the one patient who have such type of the injuries which is occurred previously, and he developed this particular injury. Okay. Now, if you see, there is one of the hole which is occurred to that particular patients. Okay. In the first day, the size of this wound was 72 mm cube. It is not mm square because it is the three-dimensional depth, length, and width. Okay, we are considering three things: depth, length, and width of that particular wound. So that's why it is the mm cube. In the first day, the size of his wound was 72 mm cube, and after 18 days, it remained the 52 mm cube. Okay, and if you see after 58 days, it become only 2 mm cube, and within some of the day, it will be healed particular that portion, his wound. Okay. Now, if you compare with the previous one, you will not see that there is a wound was quite big. It was very sharp in that one. But after this particular therapy, you will not see any type of the injury which is occurred a particular patients. So this is the advantages of this plasma therapy. Okay, and importantly, I want to say we did not recommend or prescribe any antibiotics to that particular patients because he do not have any infections in his injuries. Okay, if there is no injury, then we don't recommend for the antibiotics. There is no any use of using the antibiotics. Okay, and it is not necessary that neuropathic patients have the infections. Very less patient, around the 70% patient I have seen that those patients do not have any infections when he has the neuropathic ulcerations. Okay, now another case I have seen, it is the pressure ulcers or the bed sore we say. Pressure ulcer, it is occurred when any patients, I mentioned that if any accident which has happened in the past, that his limb become impaired, it become handicapped, so he cannot walk or he will do any movement, so he will remain static. So because the movement remains static, the whatever the portion of his body come in contact with the body area, it will develop the pressure, and because of the developing the pressure, his particular area become the numb. And when it becomes the numb, it develops the ulcer. Okay, and because of that, I mentioned that if any person have any previous accident, only those cases it is happening most often. this pressure ulcer or the bed ulcer. If you see, this is the complete hole which is occurred to that particular hip portion or a particular patient. Okay. Along with this, I have seen there are some of the infection. It is completely gone. All the tissues gone from the necrotized tissues. Okay. So that patient come to us and we have seen there is a remarkable achievements of the recovery of particular patients. All that was gradually got consumed or got closed. Within 38 days, it remained only 46 mm cube of that size. Within 38 days. This is the remarkable achievement of this particular therapy. And if you see, in the next 52 days, it remained only 4 mm cube because the depth which is gone, just only this particular length and this particular these things. Okay. So this is the again advantages of the plasma therapy which we use for the treatment of the bed sore or the pressure ulcer that particular patients. Okay. Now again we have utilized this particular therapy for the treatment of the gangrene. So why gangrene is occurred? Whenever any patients, if there is any blood vessels, if it is obstacles or it is breakdown, so there is no further proliferation or the flow of the getting the micronutrients or nutrients or the cellular corpuscles to heal that particular area. Okay. If it is completely blocked, then these tissues get necrotized. It become black. Okay. When it is black, it is not only the soft tissues, all is bones. Bones can also dissolve. If it also die. Okay. When it die, it creates certain these of the problems. Even his nerve cells also get damaged. He will not do any movement later on. Okay. So this is again case. If anything which has happened to a particular patient, then surgeon or orthosurgeon recommend to amputate that particular finger because there is no sensation. There is no any use of that particular fingers. And importantly, I want to say, if it is occurred to that single, if any one of that finger, within 10 or 15 days, it will be transmitted to all the fingers of that particular patient. If any gangrene. So please take care. If any patients have such type of any problems which is occurred, if you see that his finger getting black, at the same time, suddenly you have to tell to take you have to go to the surgeon. Okay. But not all the surgeons, just to recommend to come to us. We will definitely try our best to heal his wound. Okay. If it is become severe, it will be very difficult to treat us. Okay. So what happened? If we see that 3 fingers at least we have cured from this or recovered from that particular gangrene. Okay. And unfortunately, that patients have left his 2 fingers, just only. At least he came accidentally to us and we got a chance to recover that particular patients. At least we kept his 3 fingers alive with this particular therapy. Okay. This is again the advantage of this plasma therapy in the gangrene patients. Okay. Now, varicose veins ulcers, if you see that some of the patients have some of the rashes which is occurs on the foods. Okay, it has a different mechanism as compared to the gangrene, bed sores, pressure ulcers I mentioned, even the diabetic foot ulcers. I mean, different comorbidities have the different mechanism, different reasons why it is developed. Okay, this is the varicose vein ulcer. Varicose means it is one type of the blood vessels which is present inside our upper these limbs, this particular area. Okay. So, Miss, I will explain this. And if you see, these are the the occlusion of the blood vessels, blood which is occurred in this particular arteries or the veins of that particular patients. Okay. It gets swelled and it reaches the distinguish. We can distinguish these are the get swelled that particular area of the arteries or the veins of that particular patients. Actually, it is happen to the vein, okay, and it is happening to the varicose veins. So that's why it is called as the varicose vein ulcer or injury which is occurred. Okay, this is the if any patients have this one, then definitely that patient have the chance of the development of the ulcers in the future. So if any patient, if you see if it is occurred, then suddenly you have to contact to the surgeons or the any other ortho surgeons. Okay. Now, once it is happened, then what happened? then his tissues get damaged. Okay, it become very hard, it become very tough, just like the cement, concrete, like that one. If you pinch, you will not feel any sensation like that one. Okay, and then if you look, there is a development of the rashes will be started here. Okay, because there is no any blood flow to that particular area. If there is no blood flow, there is no further getting the nutrients or micronutrients to increase the any cellular angiogenesis or the cellular proliferation which is occurred. So that's why each particular area become the numb or the higher sensation. Okay, so such type of the rashes which is occur to that particular varicose vein patients. Now the question is, why this varicose veins ulcer occur to that particular any of that patients? Now most of the chances which is occur to that patients who is doing the job standing every time. If I had a job like the 12 hours or 8 hours, यदि कोई पेशेंट्स 8 या 12 घंटे का यदि जॉब करता है, वो खड़े होकर जॉब करता है, मोस्ट ऑफ द उस ऐसे बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स को ये होने के चांसेस ज्यादा रहते हैं वेरिकोज वेन्स अल्सर्स। इसका रीजन ये है कि जो भी ब्लड उसके पैर में जाता है, ओके, तो वो वापस उसके जो हार्ट में है, हार्ट में वो जाता नहीं है, पहुंच नहीं पाता। ओके, इफ इट इज नॉट कमिंग टू द हार्ट, इट विल बी नॉट रिसर्कुलेट। यदि वो रिसर्कुलेट नहीं होने की वजह से, कैसे कि वो पैर में ही वो जमा रहता है ब्लड, और यदि वो पैर में जमा रहता है तो वो ब्लड जैसे जैसे उसका कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का रेशियो बढ़ता है, तो वो जो ब्लड है वो स्टार्टेड द डेवलपिंग द ब्लू कलर और द ब्लैक कलर। और यदि वो ब्लू कलर और ब्लैक कलर का दिखता है तो क्या होता है, जो वीन्स है, वीन्स इज शो द ब्लू और ब्लैक कलर। ओके, इट इज द कैरेक्टराइज। यदि उस पेशेंट में यदि ऐसा कुछ सिम्टम दिखता है तो आप त्वरित उसको डॉक्टर के पास उसको जाने का सलाह देना। नहीं तो क्या होता है, यदि उसका यानी बंद हो गया ऐसे ब्लड वेसल्स, तो वो डेवलप करते हैं ऐसे रैशेस को, जो मैंने यहाँ पे दिखा है। ओके, दिस इज द जनरल टर्म्स व्हिच इज ऑकर्ड टू दैट पर्टिकुलर वेरिकोज वेन्स अल्सर्स। ओके, हियर इज वन ऑफ द पेशेंट्स। ओके, आई हैव नाउ गॉन टू द पर्टिकुलर वुंड साइज। ओके, ये पेशेंट हमारे पास आया था 18/1/2019 को, इसकी ऐसी वुंड साइज थी। तो हमने इसी टेक्निक से, प्लाज्मा थेरेपी से उसका ये पूरा हील किया। तो 21/2/2019 को इसका जो वुंड है वो इतना बच गया, और 30/2/19 को इसका जो वुंड है पूरा गायब हो गया विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस प्लाज्मा थेरेपी, विदाउट एनी मेडिकेशन। और दूसरी बात यह है कि ऐसे पेशेंट्स को पेन बहुत ज्यादा रहता है, बहुत ज्यादा। वेरिकोज वेन्स पेशेंट्स को मीन्स इट इज वेरी सीवियर, he cannot tolerate that particular pain. Okay, and there is no any medicine. so बताने की बात है कि ऐसा कोई भी मेडिसिन वेरिकोज वेन्स के लिए बना नहीं है जिसको हील कर सके। ऐसे कंडीशन में हम इस प्लाज्मा थेरेपी से उसको ठीक किया है। और ये टेक्निक है, इसमें हम क्या, इस पेशेंट आ गया था, उस पेशेंट्स को ऐसे इलेक्ट्रिक शॉक लग गया, और बिकॉज ऑफ दैट शॉक उसका पूरा पैर ऐसा यहाँ पे जो घुटने हैं, घुटने में उसका पूरा वो ये हो गया था, डैमेज हो गया था। तो एक्चुअली व्हाट हैपेंड, दैट पर्टिकुलर वी हैव सीन दैट पर्टिकुलर आफ्टर सम डे, ये पेशेंट ने कुछ प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिस के ये किया था, ट्रीटमेंट लिया था, पर आफ्टर उसका जो क्या हो गया कि उसका जो बोन है इट बिकम येलोइश, इट गेटिंग द येलोइश। If the bone is getting yellowish, it means that his bone get infected with the microbes. Okay, and if it is infected with the microbes, because of the discoloration from white to yellowish, we call that a osteomyelitis. Osteomyelitis, it is the particular words we use whenever any bone get infected with the microbes. Okay, so actually what happens, if we remove that particular area, if we bone, then that particular he will not get any movements. Okay, so instead of cutting this particular bones, we do the drilling of that bone. Okay, so because of that drilling of the bones, he can do the movements, for example. Okay, at least he can do the movements. And because of that drillings, what happened, a small portion if we are done, then whatever the stem cells which is present inside the bones, that is called as the bone marrow. Stem cell which is present inside the bone marrow, that stem cells get activated. Okay, the stem cells activation is not because of the making the drills or the holes to that particular bones. The stem cells get activated whenever that patient perceives the pain. When that particular patients have the pain, that pain activated that stem cells which is present inside the bone marrow, and that stem cells further develop the bones. or utilized for the developments of the new cartilage. That is called as the osteogenesis. Osteomyelitis means the infection, and osteogenesis means the development of the new bone or the new bone parts of that particular area. Okay. Now, if you see here in the second this attempt, this wound was quite big one previously, and it is starting the wrapping or the closing of this particular wound. Okay. Most of the parts of the which is get healed, only this bony area which is remain. And if you see in the next part, it all that particular these soft tissues or the epithelial tissues will get wrapped on that particular bone tissues. Now it is closed. Now after closing that, how we can know that whether the what are the this drilling we have done, it is closed or not? Then we go for the X-ray techniques. Okay, so because of that X-ray techniques, we can come to know that whether the one is the X-ray technique and another is the CRM technique. CRM techniques means just we focus on a particular that wound, we let the patients, and that particular area we put that like the focus on that one, and from that focus whatever the light which is transmitted through that one, we see in that particular desktop on the computer. From that one we come to know that whether that particular bony area which is completely healed or not. If you see in that particular portion, here it is the stem cell which is get activated and it started the development of the new cartilage. In this particular periphery, you can see this one. Okay, so gradually it started the development of the new bones to that particular area. So another one achievements we have got from this particular therapy, to that patient we have the shock or the burn injuries. Okay, now this looks something disheartening, but actually it is my job to make you aware whether it is good or not. Actually, it is some of the patients, one of the patients, he is from the Amravati district. Actually, he fell from the one of the lift, and when he fell to the from the lift, then what happened? Both these limbs get damaged, and after that he will do not any sensation as limb. And I mentioned that if the nerves will get damaged, then it develop the injuries. The same thing which has happened to that particular patients, and if both limbs get injured, means damage, impaired, and there is no any sensation. And because of no sensation, development of this particular injury which is occurred. So what happened? This patient has gone to the Amravati district to get the treatment from the private practitioners. Then what happened? He has removed a particular another part of the tissues and he wrapped that particular injury. ओके, उसने क्या किया वो डॉक्टर ने कि उसका जो अदर पार्ट जो था हेल्दी वुंड्स उसको वहां से काट डाला और वहां पे चिपका दिया. चिपका देने के बाद उसको पेशेंट को लगा मैं तो अभी ठीक हो गया. उसने यानी कम से कम 5 लाख रुपए 3 या 5 लाख रुपए उस पेशेंट से लिए. ओके, पर उस पेशेंट को 2 साल के बाद उसको दोबारा उसको वही वहां पे वुंड होना शुरू हो गया. उसको पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ हो रहा करके. वो बोल रहा था कि सर हमारे को पेशेंट पेन वगैरह ऐसा वगैरह, पर वो बोलता कहाँ पे आपको तो हमने पूरा वुंड बंद कर दिया, अभी कुछ वुंड दिखता ही नहीं है. यदि वो नहीं दिखता इसका मतलब वो कंसिडर करता है कि ये पेशेंट को अभी ठीक हो गया, और पेशेंट को भी लगता है कि मैं अभी ठीक हो गया. ठीक है, पर रिकरेंस मीन्स वही चीज पे दोबारा वहां पे इंजर्ड होना और दूसरी जगह पे कोई इंजुरी होना, ऑटोमेटिकली इट इज कॉल्ड एज द रिकरेंस. Development of the new injuries to that area or the other area which is called as the recurrence. Okay, so actually what happen, this is यदि हम कोई अदर पार्ट का जो स्किन है यहाँ पे चिपका दे उसको बोलते हैं स्किन ग्राफ्टिंग टेक्निक्स. ओके, तो ये स्किन ग्राफ्टिंग बेड सोर पेशेंट के लिए किया था जिसको न्यूरोपैथी है, उसको मोटर नर्व पूरा डैमेज हो गया, उसको कोई सेंसेशन नहीं पेन का वगैरह कुछ, उसको मालूम नहीं होता पेन कहाँ पे हो रहा. ठीक है, और इवन ऐसे पेशेंट को यदि कोई लैट्रिन होती है तो भी उसको सेंसेशन होता है कि मुझे लैट्रिन हो रही है करके वगैरह, कुछ सेंसेशन नहीं, कभी भी लैट्रिन कर सकता है वो, कभी उसको पेशाब आती है, ऐसा उसका प्रॉब्लम है पेशेंट्स का वगैरह. ठीक है, तो ऐसे पेशेंट का जब हमने देखा है 5 साल वो पेशेंट आ गया, तो 5 साल के बाद उसको जब देखा हमने तो उसका पूरा निकल गया था उस स्किन ग्राफ्टिंग, और देखा कि उसका इतना बड़ा वुंड हो गया था कि पूरा उसका पैर पूरा सड़ गया था. ये उसका पूरा हिप पोर्शन है, ये देखो ये पूरा हिप पोर्शन है, इतने बड़े बड़े इंजर्ड उस पेशेंट को हो गए थे बिकॉज ऑफ द स्किन ग्राफ्टिंग. तो वो पेशेंट जब हमारे पास आ गया तो हमने उसका इतना सारा हमने कवर किया था. ये अर्ली स्टेजेस है। जब हमने कम से कम 1 महीने में उसका ट्रीटमेंट किया था, तो 1 महीने के ट्रीटमेंट में हमने इतना बड़ा उसका वुंड साइज कम कर दिया दिस प्लाज्मा थेरेपी। और उसके बाद वो पेशेंट आया ही नहीं। हम चाहते थे कि पेशेंट्स वो आए, हमारे पास ट्रीटमेंट करे। उसके पास फंडिंग, वो गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट था, इसलिए वजह से उसको ज्योतिबा फुले या कोई तो है वो, उसमें वो नहीं आ रहा था। सो उस पेशेंट को उतना पैसा भी नहीं था कि उसका पूरा पैसा प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिस में खर्च किया था। तो ऐसे दिस आर द मिस व्हाट वी से bad luck for that particular patients, misfortune that he will not get any proper treatment. So I have given some of the evidences of this plasma therapy, and even I have discussed about the mechanism, why it occurred, means how it occurred and why it occurred. Okay, now our achievements of this plasma therapy I have mentioned, and I have recorded all those patients who we have created in the year 2018 to 19. Okay, in this particular year, around 593 patients we have treated successfully in 1 year. How many? 593 patients with this PRP or plasma therapy we have treated. Okay, including 21 patients belonging to venous ulcer or the varicose veins ulcers. Around 294 chronic ulcers with infections. It is not necessary that patients have the diabetic foot infections. Along with the diabetic foot infections, other patients who have the crush injury with the infections. Around 294 patients we have healed we have these particular injuries. Next one is the 12 patients of electric or burn injuries within this particular duration we have healed. 198 diabetic patients we have the foot ulcer or the infection we have also successfully treated with this therapy. 28 bed sore patients, there is no any treatment for these patients, we have the bed sores. Those patients we have successfully treated around exactly 28 patients with this plasma therapy. Next one is the 12 patients belonging to these neuropathic pressure ulcers we have successfully treated with this plasma therapy. It's another achievements. And around 27 patients belonging to gangrene we have successfully treated with this plasma therapy. It is again the advantages or the involvement of our teamwork for the treatment of this particular patients. And one patient belonging to this abdominal pox or tuberculosis. It is one of the lady who are from the village. So that patient we have treated with this particular therapy. Okay. Now I have discussed about what are the significances where we have used. Okay. And what are I have given some of the examples and how many numbers I have discussed. But there are certain challenges. I don't say it is the challenge, it is the limitations. And that limitation is not in our control, it is depends on the patients. Okay, if the patients implement these things, then these techniques can be successful, I want to say. Okay, means it is 100% chance, 98% chances of this plasma therapy we can cure, but only 2% of these things which depends on the patients. Okay, so I will mention first part of these limitations of this one is that the plasma therapy is autologous. What is autologous? Means whatever the plasma we take from that particular patients, that plasma is effective on that particular patients. Okay, but we didn't try that particular plasma to the other patients because it was mentioned in the most of the articles that it is the autologous, and we don't recommend for that one. But it is because of that COVID-19, because of that one, several other the surgeons or the practitioner, they are mentioning that if we use that plasma of one patient to the another patient, it is more effective. Okay, so how it is effective, why it is effective, and why it will not effective, I will mention when I discuss about the effect of this plasma therapy in the COVID-19. Okay, one is the plasma therapy is the autologous. It is one challenge. Second thing is that the concentration of the growth factors varies with the age of the patients. If you see that all the news channels or media, it is mentioning that COVID-19 patients are more susceptible to the age or the older patient or the old patients. Why it is so? Because the immunity of that particular patient which is decreased according to the age of that patients. Okay, it mentioned that the concentration of growth factors or the dense granules or the antibodies as well as the platelets or cellular corpuscles which undergoes the proliferation or phagocytosis killing of the microbes which is decreased. Concentration of that those particular those plasma content if it is decreased in the age means elderly patients, so that's why the chances of susceptibility to the infection is more to that particular patients, as well as the ratio or the rate of healing or the healing rate of that particular injury will be less. Okay, so age of the patient is also the important factor we have seen in their particular therapy. Second thing is that the concentration of growth factors or dense granules or all those content of the plasma varies with the diet of the patients. It is very important. Diet of the patient is very important. Okay. Now if you see that most of the elderly patients, यदि आप देखोगे आपके दादा परदादा उनका लाइफ स्पैन देखो और अभी के लोगों का लाइफ स्पैन देखो, अभी हार्डली हम 60-70 साल जी सकते हैं, पर वो जो उनका जो लाइफ स्पैन है कम से कम 90-80 के ऊपर था. इसका रीजन क्या है? इसका रीजन है कि इट इज नॉट अवर प्रॉपर डाइट. ओके, दूसरी बात ये है कि वी आर ऑल लिविंग इन द स्टेटस टू इंक्रीज द स्टेटस. ओके, वी आर नॉट लिविंग फॉर इंक्रीजिंग अवर हेल्थ और वी आर अवेयर ऑफ द हेल्थ, वी आर अवेयर ऑफ द स्टेटस. यदि मैं मार्केट में यदि साइकिल लेके जाऊंगा तो मेरे स्टेटस के खिलाफ है, क्योंकि भाई आई एम द वेरी प्रोफेशनल पर्सन. यदि मैं जाऊंगा तो मुझे लोग क्या कहेंगे? सो दिस इज द वन ऑफ द ईगो, मींस आवर ओन ईगो व्हिच इज हर्टिंग टू अस. और यदि मैं साइकिल में से जाऊं तो मुझे वो इट इज द अगेन द स्टेटस. बट if you go with the cycles, you can do some of the exercises, so you will feel some of the tiredness. Tiredness increase your breathing, it increase your oxygen consumption. If you increase the oxygen consumption, it will increase your development of the immune tissues. Means whatever the plasma content if I mention, it needs the oxygen, it needs the energy, it needs the nutrients, and these nutrients we can get if we do the exercises. Okay. And most of the Indians, I've seen that most of the Indians are more, means we can say, disease care, means the healing power of that any injuries which is more for Indian origin, is Indian populations. Why it is so? Because we take all the diets in our food. Okay, if we see most of the Western countries peoples, they don't have that proper diet. They only use the meats or like that one. That diet do not contain all the antioxidants and all these things. That diet is only pure the fats, depends on the fats. So this is the again the diet is very important in that one. Okay, even I have seen, again I want to say it is very important in that one. Those patients who are taking the vitamin C complex or like that one, or ascorbic acid we can say, the healing power of that patient is remarkable. Those patients who are taking the vitamin C, the healing rate which is the 50% higher in that particular patients. Means if any injury, यदि उसको कुछ जख्म होती है, यदि उस जख्म को ठीक होने के लिए कम से कम 60 दिन लगते हैं, और यदि वो पेशेंट यदि विटामिन सी लेता है या कोई लेमन जूस है, कोई भी खट्टी चीजें खाता है, तो उसका हीलिंग पावर कम से कम 1 महीने के अंदर उसका बढ़ जाता है. इट इज रिमार्केबल. और दूसरी बात यह है कि यदि उसका यदि कुछ होता है तो उसका जो इम्यून पावर जो उसका प्लाज्मा जो कंटेंट है वो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं. ओके, और मैंने देखा है यदि कोई पेशेंट्स यदि ज्यादा चाय पीता है, कॉफी पीता है, मोस्टली द चाय पीता है, तो उसका जो कॉन्सेंट्रेशन है जो प्लाज्मा कंटेंट का वो कम हो जाता है. इसका रीजन नहीं पता, पर हो सकता है कि यदि चाय पीने से उसका यूरिनेशन रेट ज्यादा बढ़ता है. यदि यूरिनेशन रेट ज्यादा बढ़ता है तो उसका ब्लड वॉल्यूम कम हो सकता है. यदि ब्लड वॉल्यूम कम हो सकता है, जो प्रोलिफरेशन ऑफ द सेल जो कंटेंट है उसकी स्पीड वहां पे कम हो सकती है, शायद हो सकता है. मुझे ये नहीं पता कि चाय पीने से कैसा उसका कम होता है, बट आई वांट टू से दैट यदि वो कोई चीज यदि विटामिन सी कंज्यूम करता है तो उसका हीलिंग रेट है वो ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है. सो आई रिकमेंडेड दोज पेशेंट्स, और पेशेंट ही नहीं, यदि अपन एवरी डे टाइम डेली रूटीन इफ वी कंज्यूम the vitamin C or if you take the sunlight if you take the proper diet, if you do the exercise. Abhi kya hai, most of the students or most of the people, they always busy in the phones. I think that you give some times for your health, for yourself. Do some exercise, play some of the other games simultaneously, go away from that mobiles. So it will be useful for your health. If you do the exercise, it will be helpful for you. Okay. So I have seen that the concentration of this plasma content is varies with the diet of the patients. And I mentioned that what are the contents. Okay. And next one is the effectiveness of this plasma therapy varies with its preparation techniques. Okay. Now it has a very lot of different techniques how to prepare that one. Increase the blood concentration, this content in the plasma, it increase the healing rate. If the content which is decreased, it decrease the healing rate. So concentration of that contents is proportional to the healing rate of that wounds or injuries. Okay, so it depends on the preparation techniques, how we prepare this particular plasma from that particular patients or that other patients. Okay. Now, effectiveness of this plasma therapy varies with its route of administration. Okay. Actually, we cannot give this plasma with the oral administration. Okay. We can give with the local administration if any patient which is happen. In the COVID-19, we give to the IV route, and if any patient, if it happen any such injuries, we give the locally inject that particular area to the submucous layer of that particular patients. Okay. So if we put directly, and there is particular techniques how to inject or how to infiltrate or how to administer. Administration is not, infiltration is the proper word for that one. How we infiltrate this particular plasma to that particular area, wound area. It is also very important. If we infiltrate, and if any injuries or if any death which is occurred, it will be quite serious. So we have to be very cautious while when we infiltrate that particular plasma to that patients. Okay. Now it is my subject, this chromatographic techniques, and I have done a lot of work in this one chromatographic techniques, and I have taken around 73 patients plasma, and I have done the analysis, and I want to see that what are the contents which are present in that plasma, which have that promising activities or potential activities to heal that particular area or the wounds. Now, this particular time duration, 0 to 5 minutes, there are certain, these are the small big peaks which we have seen. Okay, these peaks represents, these are the metabolites which are present in his plasma. Okay, and actually these three components which are varies or the altering to that particular different patients, it is not the same. So it represents, if it is not the same, it is means these are components which are not the healing potential. These are not the useless, these are the metabolites. So the components which are separated, I have separated after 30 minutes to this particular area, 105 minutes. These have some of the promising activities for the healing of that particular wounds. Okay. Now here I have seen that some of the highest concentration of this one, these are the dense granules or the alpha granules as well as the antibodies which are present in that plasma. And these particular components which are responsible for the healing of that particular injuries. Okay, so in future I am working on these particular components, and I want to separate, I want to purify, I want to multiply, so that instead of going for that plasma therapy to take that plasma to the another of healed patient to another infected patients, if I concentrate on these particular components, if I characterize and if I multiply, then I will utilize these particular components for the healing of the wound. This is my future prospects. I'm going to work on that one. And I tentatively have done this work of the 73 patients, and I think I have seen that all these components are unique in all patients, which represented or which signifies that these particular components are responsible for the healing of that particular area. Now I will come to the point, plasma therapy in COVID-19. Some says it is effective, some say it is non-effective. Okay. Now it is not my suggestion whether it is effective or whether it is not effective. I want to give my suggestion, transparent suggestion. If it is effective, why it is effective? If it is not effective, why it is not effective? Now, actually, I want to say I want to differentiate this into 3 steps. One is the autoimmunity, another one is the coronary viral infection, third step is the plasma therapy. Now, what exactly this autoimmunity? Autoimmunity, I mentioned that these are the some of the mast cells or basophils, neutrophils, leukocytes, as well as the leukocytes means white blood cells and the platelets and its content, which are circulated throughout our body. Okay. Now the concentration of these one, I mentioned that previously, the concentration of the plasma content depends on the diets of the patients, as well as the mobility or the movements of that particular patients. Patient means we can say it is the healthy volunteer or the non-healthy volunteer. Okay. The concentration of this one is varies with the particular person. Person to person is varies. Now actually those who are doing the regular exercise, continuous exercise, then that patients have the higher number of this one. Okay. Along with this, if any patients have the any person have the proper diet, okay, proper diet also increase that one. Even if you take the regular interval, if you take the oxygen, means if you go in the environment, if you most means you are approaching directly contact with the environment, then all these contents will be means higher in that particular persons, or we can say all these parts is the autoimmunity. Okay, if the concentration is less, then you are more susceptible for the antigens or the viral infections or the bacterial infections. Okay, because what their roles? Whenever any antigens or any viruses or any bacteria come in our body, they fight from those foreign materials. Okay, when they fight, and this fight depends on the concentration. It is the concentration dependence. If the concentration of this this immunity cells is less, then they can means they can combat with this particular this autoimmunity and they can create the infections. So this is the chances. Those patients who have the less immunity, they are more susceptible for these COVID infections. Okay, and those patients who don't, we have the higher this autoimmunity, then those patients are not susceptible for that particular COVID-19. Actually, it is mentioned it is more susceptible to the elderly patients. I don't believe that one, because what happened? Elderly patients, they don't do any exercises, they don't do any movements, they don't go for any routine exercises or walking, or they do like that one. So it is, I recommend that those elderly patients, it is not only for the infected patients, all those patients, all those peoples, you do regular exercises, go for walking, do some exercises, so you can increase your autoimmunity with this one. Okay, so what happened in the, I mentioned is the coronary or viral infections. If the concentration is less or if you are susceptible, then you will get the chances of getting these coronaviruses. This is the coronaviruses. Okay, these are the viruses. Now these viruses, what happened? It will be interact with your autoimmunity. Okay, I mentioned that in the immunity cell there is a mast cell which is also the part of that plasma or the autoimmunity. If it interact with these viruses or antigens, if interact with the mast cell, then mast cell started the development of the defensive techniques or defensive transmitters, which we called as the HT, hydroxytryptamine or the serotonins, or many other components which release from these our these defensive mechanisms. Okay, so when it increase, it causes the increase the secretion of the mucins, as well as it causes the bronchospasm or bronchoconstrictions. When it causes the increase the secretion of the mucins as well as this bronchoconstriction, then what happened? The passage or the getting the oxygen, it get obstacles. We feel the getting the oxygens. Okay, and that's why it causes the death of that particular patients. Okay, but along, it is not only the necessary of the mast cell, along with the mast cell, other cellular concentration which is also important, because they fight against these microbes. I mentioned that the fight, it depends on the concentration. जिसकी संख्या ज्यादा होगी वो जीतेगा, जिसकी संख्या कम होगी वो हारेगा. ओके, यदि जिस पेशेंट में इसका ज्यादा रेशियो है वो जीतेगा, जिसमें कम है वो जरूर हारेगा. ओके, तो अभी ये हो गया है. तो अभी इसमें प्लाज्मा थेरेपी का क्या रोल है, प्लाज्मा थेरेपी कैसे उसको ठीक कर सकते हैं? तो एक्चुअली क्या है, एक मैंने दिखाया इसमें, तो ये इसके साथ इसका इन्फेक्शन के साथ इसके हो गया, इसमें बहुत सारे सेल्स को भी क्या किया, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कोरोना वायरस it utilized all his autoimmunity, okay, and it is decreased. When it decrease, then it become more susceptible for the means death or the bronchoconstriction or the development of the mucins. If it is as shown in the black area in this one, this black area represents it completely impaired his livers, his lungs, okay, because of this completely, so he will not get any oxygen, so that oxygen is not supplied to the body. Okay, so what exactly this plasma therapy we do? We are providing the extra this blood, this plasma content, mast cell, as well as the platelets, leukocytes, basophils, neutrophils, Dell's granules, antibodies as well. We are providing extra. It is just like the supplements, okay, because if this microbes killing his all those cell lines, then it will be the concentration will decrease, so that this virus will be, the concentration will increase. So we are giving these extra supplements of that particular cell lines to that particular patients, so that particular concentration can combat to that particular infections, okay. But it is not only necessary to use this plasma therapy. Again, means along with this, we need certain other any antiviral medicines as a to give the synergistic effects. Okay, it is also important. Not only the plasma therapy, but plasma therapy we can use as an adjunctive therapy or the secondary therapy along with the other therapy to combat this one. Okay, now it is mentioned that if we use the plasma of one patient to another patient, after healed patient, is it effective or not? Okay, it is again one of the questions. Now here is my another slides I want to say. See, it is my own research work, and even it is not only my own, it is our teamwork. We have analyzed, we have introspected, means we have done this particular patient's ratio on these things. And here in the y-axis I mentioned the concentration of growth factors as well as the antibodies, okay, and in the x-axis I mentioned the intensity of infection per day, okay, means if any patient who have started in an infection from the beginning to the end, this is the intensity of infection per day, okay. In this area I mentioned is the normal condition, ulcer or injury or infection. If any patients, I have considered the three categories: normal patients who don't have any infections or any injuries, ulcer or injuries, okay, but no any infection, and third one is the only infections, okay. These are three conditions I consider, and I consider the three phases. One is the initial phase, middle phase, and third is the healing phase. I show some of the photographs. It mentioned, I showed some of the photographs, the early stage, middle stage, and the last stage of the healing stage. Accordingly, I have put some of this statistically. I have represented this particular chart of this one. I have seen that the initial stage, the concentration of the growth factors or the antibodies or all those immune cell lines, it is inclining. Okay, the concentration is increasing, and this concentration varies with the patient to patients. Okay, in normal condition there is no further growth, it is the static, no any further movement, okay. But in the ulcer or injury, it is the curve like this one, okay. The concentration is higher in the middle stage, okay. And when is the healing is the patient is the wounds is started the healing, the concentration started in the decreasing, okay. Simultaneously, if any patients are there any infections, okay, then the concentration I have seen is the optimum, is the higher, okay, because what happened, the infection, the microorganisms along with the pain accelerate the development of the other healing constituents in the blood cells, bloods, okay, and that will be accumulated at a particular injured area, okay. And once it is started the healing, it is also going to the decrease, okay. Now actually it is mentioned that if we take the plasma of the healed patient But if you take the plasma of the healed patient, then the concentration it is come to the normal level. If the concentration is coming to the normal level of these things, then the concentration which we actually will be the less of that particular healed patients. Okay. Second is the second chance will be that if I take the healed patient that plasma, then in that patient there is chances of getting presence of that particular coronaviruses, and viruses always inactive. Okay, when it goes to the other patient, it becomes the active. It is not the bacteria. Okay, so that's why most of the antiviral drugs is not effective, because they are not the live, they are the dead. Okay, so when it goes inside the other bodies, they utilize their micronutrients for their own developments or propagations. So it is another limitations to use these. Limitations means I can say this is we have to be aware of taking the plasma of that healed patients. So whenever we take the plasma of the healed patient, we always have to see whether that patient's that blood should not have the coronaviruses or any previous viruses in that one. Second thing is that the HB count should be also important. If the HB count is more than 10 or 12, it is good or conducive for taking that plasma. Okay. Third thing is that we have to check the concentration of the blood platelets. If it is above 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh per ml, it is good for that one. Okay. So we have to aware of this, the concentration of that particular those plasma content, how much it is present in that one. Okay, after that, once we come to know that whether it is all is proper, then in that case we can take that plasma of that particular patient to heal the other patients. But another thing is that how many times we can take the plasma of the healed patients, and how much volume we can take that one. Healed patients already he fight with the this one. He already just now he recovered from that infections. Okay, he is not that much active. He need his own blood to defense. Now anyhow he recovered. He need for the further getting that particular infections. So how many blood volume you can take from a particular patients? How many times and how much volume and how many times you can take that one? If you are continuously taking the blood from that patients, then it will not remain to him, because he also need to that his own blood to him. Okay, so we need some alternative techniques along with this one. Okay, so I want to say that separation science has been advanced. There are a lot of researchers and the analysts who have there are a lot of advanced techniques right now where it is they are available, lot of resources. So instead of going every time taking the blood or plasma, I think it's better to develop some of the growth factors or healing components. If we characterize, if we multiply, then that particular components we can utilize for the healing of the other patients. I think it will be more better as compared to taking the plasma. So this is my other areas along with these regenerative medicines on the plasma therapy. Previously I worked, and I'm also interested. One is the metabolomics and proteomics studies, which I want to do in the future, and I'm doing this one. And I've done doing my PhD in the UK. And drug discovery and development. In this part, I have done my PhD. I spent a lot of time, lot of hours I spent in this one. So it is one of my worshipping. The work is worship. I think so. I believe in this one. So all these research activities I consider is the devotion, working as a god. So this is I want to work on this further, drug discovery and development, plants and phytochemical analysis. It is totally different on that one, but it is the part of the drug discovery and development. It is not an easy task to work on this plant or phytochemical analysis, because there is no any methods how to characterize the phytochemicals from the plant sources. So we have to develop our own methods and characterize this one. Pharmaceutical drug analysis and validations, it is not that much difficult task, but most of the PhD students or M.Pharm students, they come to me and they say, I have to develop the methods for this one and I want to do the validations. I seen that around 90% students doing this one, pharmaceutical drug analysis and validation studies. 2 or 3 drugs. If they have done the 3 drugs, I want to do the 4 drugs. So I don't think to go for only this particular area. There are a lot of other areas we have to work in the research. If we go, actually, we are not building ourselves as a research students. I want to say, if we go for all these things, then we can get the multidisciplinary, all the students, and there are a lot of chances or options to get the jobs in other fields areas. Okay. Development of the regenerative medicines, which I have discussed about the plasma therapy, it is again the part of these regenerative medicines. I would like to work in the future of these regenerative medicines, and it is quite difficult. It needs a lot of expenses and lot of resources. Okay, and actually it is not available in India, not available to over the UK, and it is only possible for me because I work with the team of the renowned surgeons, orthosurgeons, as well as the radiologists. Okay, they have shared their ideas, experiences, and along with it is my pleasure that I got the chance to work with them, and I'm working with them as well. Okay, and my future prospect is to work on these improvements of this plasma therapy, along with those renowned people as well. Okay, here I mention my contact number, and this is the mail ID which is gone in the streamyard.com sharing, so it is hidden in this particular parts. My mail ID is ultrachrome.lab@gmail.com. And I would like to say thanks to all the audiences who listen me carefully and who like this particular. If they like, I would like to thanks. Okay. And I would like to thanks as well respected Dr. Mohan Kale sir, who have given me these opportunities, as well as my beloved friend Professor Amol Burade sir. And because of him, I got the chance to approach to the respectable Dr. Mohan Kale sir to get this platform to show what I have done and to approach to all those peoples. Okay, and actually, again, I want to say I am thankful to the Mr. Professor Ajay Kharche sir, and his organization is quite remarkable. I'm really happy with his the organization, and proper punctuality is also important. Okay, I'm really happy with the Mohan Kale sir, Amol Burade sir, and Ajay Kharche sir, as well as all the diligent team members of this KGRD CPRI Karjat and Karjat College of Pharmacy. And I give the best luck to all those students who are doing the pharmacy B.Pharm students, as well as those students who are listening me. Okay.
Sir, shall we take some questions? Because lots of questions are coming. So we take only few questions because actually we're running out of time. So we take around 4 to 5 questions. So I request you to please come to the StreamYard window.
Which window?
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Okay, sir. Okay.
By pressing Alert and Tab.
Okay. Is it came now?
Actually, I don't know whether am I visible to you?
Yeah.
I'm visible to you, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is the first question, which is at the wait. Yeah.
Now this is coming as yeah. Okay. Priyanka Jadhav, I think that one.
Yes.
Sir, plasma therapy is excellent, but is it expensive? It is a very good question. It is not expensive. I really appreciate this particular questions, and it's come to your mind. Really appreciable. This technique is not that much expensive to get any proper treatment of particular patients. If we go for any other treatment, it costs around 1 or 1.5 lakh. Means it depends on the cost, but there is 50% less cost of a particular therapy with this one. Means it is not in the lakh, it is in the thousands. Hello, sir.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'll take next question.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is she happy with that questions? Okay. Can the plasma therapy be used in the treatment of any neurological disorders? If yes, how? Yes, it is also good questions. Thanks, Atharva, for asking these questions. Can plasma plasma therapy is effective in neurological disorders? Really happy. If yes, how? I have seen that I have two patients I have recovered with this particular therapy. Okay, but actually it is the MCI has not given any permission to give this plasma therapy to any neurological any patients. But actually we are working on this one. Certain parts we kept very confidential because we did not disclose certain part, but we have seen the success of this particular plasma therapy to the development of the nerve tissues as well, because those patients who do not have any sensation, but after this therapy they got the sensation as well. This is another achievements we have got. Yes, this particular therapy is very useful for any person who have the neurological disorders. And how because if any patients you bring that patients and in front of you, I can show you that how it is effective. Any other question?
Okay, I'm searching for the another question. Yeah, I'm looking for the question.
Yeah, after a plasma therapy, there is any chances that injury can occur again? If yes, then what to do? Yes, it is called as the, if any injury which is happening again, it is called as the recurrences. Yes, it is again very good questions. I'm really happy that all those people ask the very good questions. Yes, I have seen that there is no any chances of getting the recurrences of that particular injuries to that particular patients. I have seen that most often it is the only the chances is the varicose patients. Okay, only that patients we have seen that there are chances of the recurrences because there is a complete blockage of that blood vessels. Okay, if the complete blockage of that particular blood vessels, then we can heal that particular area. But along with that, if there any obstacle, if it is present in that one, then we have to remove that obstacles so that the blood flow which will occur. Okay, so yes, it is the chances of that recurrences is very less in the plasma therapy as compared to any other therapy. Yes, Hamza. Is plasma therapy is applicable for communicable disease? If yes, then how? I don't think that is the communicable diseases, but because what is the route of administration you will give that particular plasma? It is again the question, because we can give it by the IV route or we can give it by the just like the local subcutaneous route we can give. But what will the route you can consider? And for the communicable diseases, yes, we can try it, no problem. But actually, it is the new attempt we are doing on this COVID-19, and it is just now the 4 months, 4 or 5 months, which has happened on this particular, and they are taking the trials, and we are getting it results from that one. Not 100% we are sure that whether it is effective on this coronavirus or not, but on the early stages, there are the achievement, they are getting the good achievement. So based on that, I can say it would be applicable for the communicable diseases. Any question? Okay. Sir, in skin grafting treatment, there are chances of death. Why? This case happened in my family 2 times. Yes. Yes, it's a very good question again. And I'm really happy that all those people ask the good questions. Skin grafting, actually, it is not the proper techniques. Okay. Most of the surgeons, they go for the skin grafting. Skin grafting, actually what happened, we are wrapping one of the particular area to cover that particular wound. Actually that wound, it is not necessary that particular wound was healed or not. It was not healed, that's why they are going for that skin grafting. And I have seen around 90% the chances of the recurrences or the development of the nerve injuries that particular area which is happened in that skin grafting. Yes, it's a very good question. So if any patients have this skin grafting and if it is failure, and if it is developed the nerve wound at that time, just to come bring that patient, then definitely 100% we will heal that patients. Okay. Sharayu Ukarande, how does plasma therapy affect on the COVID-19? I have given some of the mechanism previously in my previous slides. and I mentioned that how this plasma therapy is effective on this COVID-19. Okay, plasma therapy in this case, it acts as a supplement. Just like we take the vitamin supplements or any other supplements to increase the concentration. If our body is not preparing that one, then we take the external sources to increase the concentration. Similarly, in this plasma therapy, whatever the autoimmune components which are responsible for defense for that particular or to decrease the concentration of this other population of this coronavirus, this one. So we go for that external this plasma content, okay, to heal or to defense from that viruses. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Now we will conclude our session because now we are running out of time. And
Okay, sir,
thank you,
okay.
sir, for your informative session. Actually, we heard only about the plasma therapy, stem cell therapy, but today we get the deep knowledge of these therapies. So thanks a lot, sir, for your talk. So I request Dr. Vaishali Zada, madam, to conclude the session with a vote of thanks. Vaishali, madam.
Konkan Gyanpith Rahul Dharkar College of Pharmacy and Research Institute, Karzat, to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Pankaj Kharbe. Sir has very well tried to explain and simplify our today's topic, plasma therapy and stem cell therapy, for our viewers' understanding. Your experience and knowledge is really appreciable. Through this talk, we got the opportunity to know the nitty-gritties of various surgeries and challenges involved within it. Thank you, sir, for sparing your precious time with us. I would like to extend my thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. Mohan Kale, and management for their support and motivation. Also, a big thank you to all the organizing committee, Dr. Amol Sandekar, Mr. Ajay Kharche, Mr. Amol Borade, Mrs. Poonam Patil for their enormous cooperation in arrangement of this session. I also wish to express my gratitude to all our viewers for attending this session. Thank you for being with us this evening. Stay safe and take care. Thank you very much.
Participants, tomorrow we'll have a session at 5 p.m. with new speaker. So see you on tomorrow at 5 p.m. So thank you, Pankaj sir. Thank you, Vaishal madam.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.